With the amount of tourists and people who relocate here from Hawaii, Vegas has earned the nickname the Ninth Island. And so spending $175 million in 2004, or a staggering $269 million when adjusted for inflation to build a Hawaiian-themed retail complex on the Strip made perfect sense. Theme it after the International Marketplace in Honolulu, Hawaii. Throw in a Walgreens as an anchor tenant, promise to force people walking the Strip to pass through it, and it would simply print money. What could possibly go wrong? Well, it took only a few months for the food court in the back of the newly opened Hawaiian Marketplace to close, and it quickly became evident that this was a rare misfire for Las Vegas, and on a massive scale. Before long, the Hawaiian Marketplace was as empty as the Mojave Desert that surrounds the city of Las Vegas itself. This is the story of a true Vegas rarity, a failed, largely abandoned, and now closed Las Vegas landmark. This is the story of the Hawaiian Marketplace. So Vegas may be one of the most innovative places on the planet. Every time something disappears, something props up to take its place, usually better and lately far more commercialized. In 2019, before COVID was even a word that we thought of on a daily basis, there was a company called the Gindi Group who purchased the Hawaiian Marketplace. Nobody was really sure how long the Hawaiian Marketplace would have, but this Vegas institution that's been around for decades is now completely closed. We're going to take a look at what remains of the vacant vendors at the Hawaiian Marketplace, show you guys what it once looked like, and try to imagine a simpler time in Las Vegas where there wasn't a big corporation popping up on every single street corner. My name is Steven, I'm not leaving Las Vegas, and this is the Hawaiian Marketplace, closed. Truly an end of an era. Standing on this walkway, you take a look around us. Billions of dollars of development across the street with the city center and the Harmon Corner behind me. But what can they actually build here? That's the big question, because there's a height restriction due to the Polo Towers timeshare. So they're looking at retail shops. Of course, the company responsible for all this hasn't released anything. But it just seems like all of a sudden, within a few weeks, every single vendor, including the famous Fatburger restaurant, is completely closed. And it's kind of shocking to see this much closed retail in one place in Vegas. This has nothing to do with the bad economy and everything to do with moving forward and building something brand new here in Vegas. So, as is quite often the case when filming, I stumbled upon a much bigger story. The Hawaiian Marketplace wasn't the only shut down part of the Strip. Something with a much more checkered past had also closed, and we'll take a look at that next. Another Vegas icon shuttered, and its future so far unknown. A new resort? But who's the owner? When will it actually open? So far, the answers remain unclear. So just a couple of notes on the Travelodge right behind me. It's literally a motor hotel. And back in the day, people would drive their cars. It was a car culture. Back in the 50s and the 60s, Americans gained massive amounts of mobility by having personal vehicles in the interstate highway system. So hotels like the Travelodge over here were quite common to see. It was a normal thing. Now it's not normal. Let's go take a look at it before we get ourselves in hot water and be asked to leave. While we were filming, someone actually came out from the Travelodge office to explain that, quote, the guy who owns the Golden Nugget downtown, end quote, had closed on purchasing the entire north end of this block the day before. That guy who bought it was Houston billionaire Tillman Ferreira, current owner of the downtown Las Vegas Golden Nugget, as well as nearly a dozen other restaurants, including Bubba Gump Shrimp Company and the Rainforest Cafe. The nice gentleman told me that they were, quote, definitely building a brand new resort and casino, end quote, on the site. So I have to wonder, will themed hotels still work in Vegas? Possibly a Rainforest Cafe or Bubba Gump Hotel and Casino? Who knows, and only time will tell. This area here is a Hawaiian Marketplace. This has to be one of the most embarrassingly failed parts of the Strip because it never reached its full potential. I mean, upstairs there was a Chili's, and before that there was just a giant gift shop that took up the whole front. And it literally had a Hawaiian theme with Hawaiian kings in front of it. I'll put the name of the king on the video as we go through it. We have a place called Smokey's Bistro that at one point was a Pete Rose barn grill, and before that was Rockin' Riley's, or was it in the other way, the other order? There's been so many owners. So it looks like Smokey's is open today, but it was definitely closed the other night. But what is closed in here, we're gonna go see right now. So behind us up those stairs, we used to have Chili's. And in the back, there is the fitness center for Polo Towers. And then there's a restaurant called Tamba. It's an Indian place that has to be closed because those big glass doors we're trying to get to are closed. And that was the only place to get proper vegetarian cuisine on the Strip. Also behind us right here, we have a couple of custom t-shirt booths, things like this that are not open. These places used to be open and active. And then behind me, we have the Fat Tuesdays and the Fat Bar, one of the most popular destinations when Vegas was quasi-open back in May of 2020. This place had lineups. We saw them on our live streams. Best Buds is open. Once again, it's a CBD store, but either way, maybe get your calm on while you're here in Vegas with some CBD. So make no doubt, it was oddly gut-wrenching to see the ghosts of Las Vegas's past being exorcised one by one. In the past, I had made friends here, booked timeshare tours and sold Grand Canyon tours on this very spot. We sat in the back and listened to the bands under the canopy to get out of the heat while we plotted about the day we would somehow get off the Strip and do something better with our lives. But the Hawaiian Marketplace closure wasn't the biggest surprise this month. Another even more famous landmark, known to many more worldwide, was also shuttered. One once rapped about by Ice-T and part owned by Magic Johnson, Kanye West, and even Pharrell. Such is the ever-changing shape and face of the Las Vegas Strip, where history is replaced, erased, and left to fade away like an old Polaroid picture. So behind me here you have this specialized food court. Now you may not have heard of Masala Express and Taco Papi and Pizza, Wings too, but I'm pretty sure you heard of Pink Box if you've been to Las Vegas or you live here. Probably heard of El Dorado Cantina if you've been to Vegas or you live here. So when this originally opened, this center of shops, they had a McDonald's. You can even see the arch where it would have gone on top of the big sign. McDonald's was renovated for $1 million food court, which then unfortunately couldn't compete with all the other food offerings. What was left was a really nice looking food court with really generic, indistinguishable type of food vendors. Mexican, Indian. Didn't work out. Now the whole thing has been basically primed for teardown. You know, if you need any proof that Vegas is a weird place, it's the fact that you can find somebody's jeans just laying on the ground at the Fat Burger. I'm sure there's a story to that, but I'm not sure I want to know what it is. There used to be a place down here called Allen Albert's, I believe. It was a place with lobster. The Mosaic Theater down there was one of the very first theaters with the very first shows you could catch in Vegas after we came out of lockdown. And I give them credit for being a pioneer for trying to get those shows running again before all the Cirque du Soleils of the world came back. Reflect back on my time working around these areas, doing timeshare, Grand Canyon tours, or even just checking out the Strip with family. I'm reminded of a quote by Albert Einstein, who is said to have said, "The measure of one's intelligence is one's ability to change." So, is Vegas an intelligent place? Well, sure embraces change, doesn't it? So I don't know what changes are coming to this area, but you should subscribe to the channel and we'll bring you the updates and reports as we get them. What do you think about Hawaiian Marketplace? Do you have any kind of fond memories of this place? Maybe not so fond memories. Maybe this is the place where you got so blanked up in your life. Or maybe this is the place where you met the love of your life. You never know. And I'd like to hear your stories below. Check us out on Patreon if you guys want to support the videos. You got this video early if you're there. And once again, my name is Steven, and I'm not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas blogger. So as we reflect back on the changes coming to Vegas in the future, the possibilities of what could become, we look at the camera, we say 3, 2, 1, click. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and click.